Knick world. Welcome to another episode of Delusional Knick Fan Network, where we bring you that Knicks content that you need. On today's episode, pretty much one of the most controversial position in Knick history, even though we did have the point guard issue for quite a while, but that's taken care of now, so that's done. But we're talking about the power forward position with Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. Who fits with the lineup that we have now? Who's the better player for the future? As you can see, I'm rocking my Obi Toppin t-shirt. I don't know, maybe that could be a hint of who I think is good for this franchise going forward. But let's kind of jump right into it. My thing with Julius Randle. Jules, ISO post player that can give you 20, 10, and 5 on any given day. Now that's solid numbers. Solid numbers when you're talking about a 6'8" guy who's around 250, straight ISO ball, bully ball, who's kind of limited in going to and utilizing his right hand. Not say that he can't, but in certain instance, he pretty much will force himself to go to his left hand. He will go right and then, come up that. But if he's going right and just kind of to straightly go up with that right hand, we rarely seen that. So as you can see, 29-5, which was last year numbers with Julius. His last 5 games with us was horrendous. As you can see, 21, 7-16, 43, 4 for 10. This is, sorry, even though it's still 40%, we don't need you shooting 10 threes, Jules. 10? I don't even think Fournier be shooting 10 threes. Then you was 0 for 4 the night before that. 2 for 5, which is okay. I would take 2 for 5, but that's 40%. 1 for 6, 1 for 7. Jules, stay in your range. Stay in the perimeter. Jump shots. Be the mellow. Jab step, pump fake, do that. Put the ball on the floor, pass it. Thing with Julius is he demands double team. And that's great for a certain offense, because if you're drawing a double team, that gives players to be able to cut. Because if I'm looking at Jules and the defender behind me is also looking at Jules, my player, the opposite player, can cut and move and be out of the defender's vision. Once I'm out of the defender's vision, you cause disruption on that defensive end. And now players can cut and move, and you can run a set because they're focusing down on Julius. So that's a great aspect that he brings to the Knicks, which is why he dishes it, get, that 5 assists, 13 assists, 7 assists, 11 assists. Sorry, I'm on a rebound. Excuse me. 7, 4, 5, 3, 4. So he brings that to the game. Jules is a phenomenal rebounder too for someone to be, 6'8". Is not as athletic as Obi, but he does grab a lot of defensive rebounds. I guess some of that is his big body frame and him being able to box out. So that helps out a lot for the Knicks regarding this lineup. The point forward it's a good attribute to have. It's a good skill set to have. Him bringing it up on certain fast breaks and pushing the pace, that's great for the team. He probably holds on it a little bit too much, because then when you do get between the 3-point line and forward, you don't know what to do. Remember, Julius used to do a lot of spins and run into the secondary defender because you're not keeping your head up. If you get in there, keep your head up, look for your cutters. That'll definitely help you out. I want to bring up the stats. So the only stats I want to really look at is his New Orleans stats. To me, this is the best Julius Randle we can ever get. Why? They only used him for 30 minutes. I believe this is Julius Randle's max limit. Get him at 30 minutes for him to be efficient. Why? Because he's only going to give you 7 buckets anyway. 7 made buckets, as you can look going through. 7, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5. But he's only going to give you that one fluke year is where he averaged that 8.5, which is technically 9 made baskets. But let's keep Julius at the 30-minute range. All right. 7 field goals made. This technically could have been 8. Uh, 14 attempts. I'm fine with 14, maybe 13 attempts, but that's totally fine. But he was shooting at a 52 clip. Why? He wasn't shooting as many threes. Jules, that's the key for you to be successful this year. Do not shoot as many threes. Stay in a perimeter, and everything else will pretty much be solid on the Julius Randle end. And that will help the Knicks be successful if he stay within that range, stay good. Don't have to worry about being a point forward. Just ball out and be good. On the next one, we're going to talk about the athletic, the space, the player that can get buckets without having a play called for him. Someone who is running on the fast break like he's, Usain Bolt, or like Obi is the man. And the reason why I say that is first with his energy level. His energy level is high. His spirit is high. I read in an article about the Golden State Warriors is that they didn't have any egos, any issues. Everybody bought in and everybody was happy for each other. And he said that played a key role with them winning the championship. Why? Because you're passing the ball. There's no ego. There's none of that. You're not getting mad because something occurred or you're not getting the ball. That's what Obi brings to the Knicks. He has a great shooting form. Look at Obi's shooting form, right? That tells you that he can get better as a shooter, just period, due to his form. Due to his form, he can get better, period. All right? So if we're looking at his stats will not do us justice. Why? Because it was limited time frame. But we can look at Obi's last 5 games where he was getting Julius Randle type minutes, right? And one key factor that stands out to me is his field goal percentage. Each of his field goal percentage were higher than any year of Julius Randle. Excuse me, his lowest was still higher. Well, no, I don't think it was. No, except for, yeah, actually, yes. Let me see. 1 second. Julius Randle field goal, his highest. Oh, okay, so he did have the 55 year with Lakers, but he was getting less shots. Forgive me. Okay, but anyway, my man is not scoring less than 41 on the field goal. Right, his 3-point percentage, the last couple games, you can see the increase with time and a confident. Now 6 for 14, I was jacking, but he was getting that career high in that last game, so we let that rock. But 6 for 9, 2 for 4, the 4 for 10, I believe that was way too much, but he's just getting the confidence up and he's jacking it up. But his selection to me for Opie is solid. Opie gets buckets easy. There's no post up. There's no, all right, I'm going to just try to ISO and dribble and do too much. No, it's within the system. It's within the rotation. It's, hey, cool, I'm going to do this cut, pick and roll, catch it. I'm going to go straight to the basket. There's no thinking. There's no, all right, do I do any of that? Opie just straight attacks. Then, of course, his 3-point shooting is awesome to a certain extent. We probably need to see a tad bit more confidence on that form because it's his position. And sometimes he get the ball to want to jack it up too quick. Sometimes he get the ball and just I'm like, Obi, set your feet, get everything right, don't rush it, let it fly, and great results. I believe he's a better shooter than Julius from the 3, and that will show this year. His athleticism alone, him being able to play above the rim, high pick and roll, can finish, just tap, just jump up straight athleticism. Now, post moves like that, working with David Zenon, that'll be great for him this year. Like Tibbs, draw him up some post plays, let him go to work. My comparison when we first drafted Opie, everybody did that same comparison, was he could have been the Amari Stoudemire, an advanced Amari Stoudemire, because Amari didn't develop his jump shot until later. He was just pure athleticism. I don't know if Opie got that same dog as Amari, but It's a possibility. And this is why I say looking at his stats mean nothing. This man is 17 minutes when you look at last year, and a year before that 11. Tibbs, what are you doing? Find some time for my guy Opie. He deserves it. He's been putting in work. And I believe going for the future with what the team needs to do, obviously we're going to get dominant point guards. Like we got Jalen Brunson. I want him to dominate the ball. Have the ball in smart players' hands. We can't have multiple players like that. We gave the extension to RJ. RJ, as we saw, with the ball in his hands, can produce. Bad field goal percentage because he was just getting used to having that ball and having that attention. But him and Opie played well. They fed off each other well. Why? Because Opie didn't need to demand the ball. Opie brought that excitement when Barrett or somebody else did something great. Opie did cheering. He's high-fiving. They're getting hugs. If I feel comfortable playing with you and I feel that love playing with you, we're going to win. And we don't even have to be the best team on the floor. I played with guys where the other team was better, but just they knew how I played. They know, like, yeah, I could go and get buckets if I want to, but I know I got a shooter here, I got a guy that likes to defend here, and I got a point guard that, likes to dominate the ball. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set screens, I'm going to play D. I was dunking at 6 feet, yes, and I had a ratchet. So I played to my strength. I let them have fun. There's times I had a wide open shot. I pump fake, dribble, pass it off, let my man eat here. Knowing that I could have knocked down that shot, but I got an easier basket. He ate. I got an assist. We good. That's how Opie plays. Opie plays with just love, joy, and excitement of the game, and he has game. Give Opie the opportunity, Tibbs. We saw it that last couple games. Opie was putting in work, and the offense flew because RJ was doing that. And it's funny, Mitch said it too. Mitch was like, we're enjoying ourselves out there. RJ's doing his thing. He's passing the ball. We all eating. And when RJ was at helm, they all was eating. They all was eating. Now, if everybody's eating, everybody's good, B. Everybody eats, B. Everybody's good. And that's the situation here. So pretty much in all summary for me, let me switch it over here. To summarize it, I believe Obi Toppin is better suited for the Knicks going forward. 100%. And why I say that is because Opie can score without the basket. He doesn't need no plays. Somebody similar to that, no comparison, obviously, because Zion is a generational talent. But with Zion, they did not run plays for Zion. Zion went out there, was running when he first got in the league. It was killing off of non-set plays, alley-oops, grabbing the ball, going back up, pump fake, dunking it. That's what was going on over there. And mind you, Jules is a great player. Like I said, Julius is not a number one. Julius can be a number 2 or number 3. If he's the number 1, it can't work on this Knicks team. If he go to Phoenix over there, that'd be perfect for him. Or if he goes to Dallas, that'd be perfect for him as well. Because you have superstars over there that Julius would probably respect and play under. And don't want to demand the ball, or you want to play it that's not all in the video. That want to get all the buckets. Come to death, bro. Nah, we don't need that. You don't need that. Opie could give you those easy baskets, man. Transitional baskets that are very key. How many times Quickly alone would get 3 assists a game just off an outlet pass to Opie. Here, Opie. Opie catching a transition, easy buckets. He was drawing fouls later on in the season, getting easy racks. So that's my thoughts on that. Please, in the chat, let me know. Are you staying with Julius? Because Julius, and I believe Julius is going to have a breakout year. Julius is definitely going to have another year this year of where he's going to average 20 plus. His rebounds is going to be around 9 because Mitch is going to play longer. He's going to average, I think, around maybe 4 or 5 assists because we got Brunson that's probably going to dominate. But he's going to be efficient. You know, the issue with Julius has never been his ability to do anything. It's always been his attitude, which disrupts everything. He thinks he's a number one guy. You know, you fighting with teammates, you fighting with coaches. We don't want to hear that. Obi is not that player. Obi plays with joy. Look, that was effortless. When you got bungees like that, it's easy. Why? You could jump over players. You can use your athleticism on certain plays. You know, he could probably become a better weak side defender because of his athleticism. Look at the easy stroke with that. Julius wouldn't have been, well, he probably could have been able to shoot that, but this was effortlessly with him. But let me know in the chats what you think. Julius Randle, Obi Toppin. And I know about 90% of y'all is going to go with Obi Toppin. And he's cheap. You know, Obi's probably only making about, I think, $5 million this year. And it's funny, if you guys are staying with me this long, let me give you a key, probably what the Knicks is doing, right? They're going to hold on to Julius for this year, probably trade him in the offseason, right? Now, Obi Toppin, his numbers has been low. So when they do try to extend Obi, it's not going to be for the max. So that's smart to a certain extent. You know, you can give him probably about 12, 13 mil a year. You know, 15 mil a year. Give him, you know, around the Mitchell Robinson numbers. And then during that contract, Obi going to be averaging 25 a game. But he's making less money because why? The Knicks, and the same thing with Quick. Quick, they're not going to extend him until later on. Why? Because there's obviously too many players ahead of them. So they're going to wait. You know, then when they want to sign an extension, ain't nobody going to be giving these guys $20 million a year because it's like we didn't see you guys produce anything. It's because they're not getting the time. Knicks think they smart, which they kind of are to a certain extent. But on that note, I'm rocking with Obi Toppin. Deuces.
You gon' do it if I say so. I'ma do it for the pesos. I fell in love with the bass load. I fell in love with